Athletic teams with outstanding achievement records are inducted as a single inductee, with a team representative accepting the award on behalf of that team. This championship team earned an astonishing record of success. So we're going to learn more about it as we watch this video. Most conference wins compiled in a campaign. Most Player of the Week honors earned during a season. Most first-team All-Leaguers named after a season. And more wins than any other squad since moving to Division I. Those are just some of the headlines for the 1984 UNLV football team, which can forever hang its helmet on being known as the first in school history to win an outright conference championship and the first to earn a postseason bowl bid. Harvey High's squad started its campaign that year with a trio of victories, including 2 over league rivals San Jose State and New Mexico State. A trip to the islands ended with the team's first defeat as the homestanding Rainbow Warriors eked out a 16-12 final. Then came a 7-game winning streak that included one of the biggest victories in school history. A week after brushing aside WAC member San Diego State on the road, UNLV hosted arch-rival Cal State Fullerton for a homecoming game for the ages. The undefeated 20th-ranked Titans came to town with the Pacific Coast Athletic Association title on the line. And a fired-up crowd at what was known then as the Silver Bowl saw the Rebels lead throughout. With less than 3 minutes remaining, quarterback Randall Cunningham found tight end Reggie LaFrance for a 9-yard TD that put the Rebels ahead by 9. The 26-20 final remains the school's only home victory over a ranked opponent. Fullerton did not lose the remainder of the season to finish at 11-1. But the Rebels would go on to defeat Utah State and Fresno State to run the PC2A table and grab the league's sole postseason bid to the California Bowl. Before the trip, however, UNLV hosted 10th-ranked SMU and put up a tough fight before the powerhouse Mustangs prevailed 38-21 in a game best known for the halftime retirement of Cunningham's number 12, still the one and only jersey retired in UNLV football history. Just 2 weeks later, the Rebels were on the field at Bulldog Stadium in Fresno and fighting it out with the Mid-American Conference champ Toledo in what was the program's debut appearance on ESPN. The first PC2A team to ever win 7 games, the Rebels were impressive, breaking the game wide open with 17 third-quarter points led by Cunningham's passing and the running of freshman back playing in his hometown named Elbert Icky Woods. Number 12's 270 yards through the air would earn him the game's MVP honors as the Rebels prevailed 30-13 and were crowned the 1984 California Bowl champions with a final mark of 11 wins and 2 losses. The talent-rich squad featured the conference Offensive Player of the Year in All-American Cunningham, the Defensive Player of the Year in lineman Aaron Moog, and the Coach of the Year in Hyde. 5 players on the team eventually were drafted by the NFL, all of whom played in the pros for a combined 38 seasons. First to go undefeated in league play, first team to go to a bowl game, and first team to win one. Victories, honors, great memories. Yes, this squad earned plenty of headlines on the field and gathered here tonight to make one more off it. The 1984 football team heads into the UNLV Athletics Hall of Fame. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome this outstanding athletic team head coach, Harvey Hyde, the 1984 team, the coaches, the support staff, and if you'd all please come forward at this time. Now, many of the players made a great effort to be present this evening, and for that we applaud you. So everybody come on up.
Another neon night on a crowded avenue. There's 1,000 lonely faces, but all I see is you. Oh, you don't come around. Don't
wow. I'm going to take this mic off.
You don't come around. Not like you did before.
These team pictures, you're going to see some real champions. Our motto was no one single individual is better than or bigger than the program. Every single person that comes through here is a reason why we were successful. Doesn't make any difference what position they played or if they played. They're all part of a Rebel football program that's waited 28 years. And believe me, I know you've been waiting a long time here tonight. And if I can wait and not go to the bathroom, you can too. But I tell you, we're going to take a moment in talking about this team. They told me I had 3 minutes, and I don't know if they were kidding or not. But they knew I'd have to say a lot about this team. I'm not going to keep you all night, but when I watch them walk by, I can tell you where every one of them came from. I can tell you about their parents. I can tell you about what high school. I can tell you about what big play they made, because they all made big plays. Some bigger than others, some got more recognition than others, but they're all part of a great championship football team. Everyone's trying to win in college football or win in life, but you've got to learn to compete and you've got to learn to pay the price. On this football team, we wore T-shirts that said underneath our jerseys, first of all, Rebel Pride. I'm looking at Tony Gunn like I watch him on TV during the discount tire ad, whether you believe that or not. He is a discount tire dealer, and he does commercials for them. That means he's pretty successful, I guess, Tony. But, and we had also a T-shirt that we wore that had 4-inch letters that said team, and below it said me. And they all know what we're talking about. That's exactly how we felt. If you mess with one of us, you messed with all of us. And that's the way we went, and that's the way we still are today. After 28 years, to see these many players still be together, Tom Pola here from Mexico, came in from Mexico. Is a hotel chain tycoon. He's doing it all. He wasn't a hat sailor, but he was a guy that could compete and went out in life and was accomplished what he wanted to do. They all accomplished what they wanted to do. They're all winners. They're all a part of my life, my family's wife. My wife here, I don't know how many times, I don't know, Jim Livengood, if this was legal or not, but I don't know how many times they came over to my home for dinner, because no one went hungry on our football team. I used to ask them, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? They said, oh, Coach, we're just going to hang out. I said, no, you're not. You came over to my house, right, guys? And when they came over to my house, I sat on the floor, and they were laying on my bed, and they were doing everything else in our home. But I'll tell you one thing, they were full. And they had Christmas or whatever it took with us, because that's what it's all about. I owe a lot to them. I thank my family for their sacrifices, because my wife was the Little League coach. She went to the PTA meetings. She did all of that while I was with other young men, because I promised their parents that if you trusted me with them, I would become their parent. You raised them for 18 years. You can't tell them where to go to school, and you're not going to tell them who to marry. Otherwise, it'll come back and tell you, if they aren't successful, that you made me make a mistake. I used to tell our recruits, and I'll tell you this way, I was very positive about Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas. I thought it was a great place to recruit to. Why? I moved my family here, right out of high school age. And I used to go in their homes and tell them, if I'm going to move my family, if it's good enough for my kids, it's good enough for your son. I promise you I'll take care of him. And when we had a problem with one of them, I'd call him in my office, and I'd call their mom, and I'd say, we got a little problem here. He's not going to class like I told you and promised you. And we get that worked out. We didn't keep secrets among ourselves. We didn't keep secrets among family members. We have players that have been very successful in life as well as on the field. I was blessed because I had great coaches. I felt that the only way I could be successful is to have great people around me. I think that's a success of life, and around those great coaches to be great players. And if you're able to have those type of people on your staff, you got a chance. I'm not telling you you're going to be successful, but you got a chance, and that carries over in business and anything. I remember when I hired our staff here, I made sure I hired 4 head coaches. Why? I wanted people that had experience, people that had been there with the lights on before, people that could not go into a stadium and look around and be as shook up as these kids might be. And I told I wanted coaches who wanted my job or coaches that wanted head jobs. Because the only way they could get those is to win. And that's what we were here to do. Graduate these kids, go on in life, become competitive, and win championships. I remember when I recruited to UNLV, I would tell a lot of players, I would tell their parents when I sat down in Tony Gladney's house and we had dinner. I cooked dinner for the family that night because I told him I'm not leaving here until he decides to come to UNLV. And I went into one of the bedrooms with my suitcase. Tony will tell you. Isn't that right, Tony? And I made him call San Diego State when I was in the living room. I said, now you tell him. You tell him while I'm here, you're going to UNLV. He says, Coach, I can't do that. I said, here, let me dial it for you. And we did that. He came to UNLV. I still love his mother, love his family. I love Darnell Pickens' mother's here. Love her. Washington High School in Fresno. I can tell you all about that. I love recruiting players out of Fresno. You know why? We used to go back in there, Icky, didn't we, and kick their ass right there in Fresno. Didn't we? Huh? I told our team one night before we went out and played in Fresno, I said, you guys wait in here a minute because I'm going to go out and kick Jim Sweeney's ass, and then we're going to come back here, then you're going to go out and kick a team's ass. And because that's the way we felt, and that's the way we played, and that's the way we believed, because we bled scarlet and gray. We did. We bled scarlet and gray. We believed in it. Now, there's one guy that made this happen, and he's sitting right over at this table, and he was the athletic director at UNLV, Dr. Brad Rothermel. I want to tell you, Brad, we love you because you took a chance on me. You took a chance on me. I was a junior college coach. Yeah, we had some success, but I hadn't proved myself. I was the only coach, first coach in the history of Division I football that Brad took a chance on from a junior college coach to become a head Division I coach. First one. Brad did that. They even put a sign up in town, who the hell is Harvey Hyde? I remember that. You guys remember those things? I kept one of them son of a bitches, excuse me. I did. And I know who made that, and I wanted to, you know what, with it. And I used to tell these guys all this stuff. We had no secrets, did we? There was no secrets. When it was time to kick butt, we did it. When it was time to pray, we did it. When it was time to cry, we did it. And we were all one because we had great times together, and we had some times we got screwed. We lost one game at Hawaii. They had won the WAC. You remember that? Offensive holding. I went over the official. I said, Earl, because I knew Earl. He's the referee, was I head coach at the University of Hawaii. I said, who the hell was that called on? He said, 32 or whatever it was. I said, how the hell could he be holding when he's running the football? He says, hey, coach. Brad knows this. It's true. He says, hey, coach, you're visiting and I live here. I said, you son of a bitch. I'm sorry, ladies, but this is the way I talk to. This is the way I talk. Because I believe in what I talk about, and I mean it. And there's another gentleman sitting around here, Jerry Tarquini. I can't see him. Hey. Where's my man, Tark? Tark, I want you to know, I wouldn't have gotten a job at UNLV, I don't think, unless it was Tarkanian who helped me, backed me. And I'll tell you what, we rode off his coattails. When I would go into homes and recruit, I'd say, you want to watch a Rebel game in person? I'd say I might even introduce you to the Shark. We'd get a visit. And I'll tell you, when we recruited guys, we went after all of them. Didn't make any difference where they could go to school. I didn't care who the hell was recruiting them. Because I would tell them, if you don't come here, we're going to beat your ass no matter where you go. And I meant that. I tell you, I used to have my ugliest guys get off the bus first. We used to intimidate teams before we played them. When we went to the California Bowl, correct me if I'm wrong, here's a high school principal, and he's listening to me talk like this. When we went to the California Bowl, we wanted to win everything. We weren't just going there to win the game, which fortunately we did, but we wanted to win the entertainment contest. You know what? Did we win that? You remember that? Those guys from Toledo can't sing and shit. I mean, these guys are from Vegas, right? I remember that. We won that in a big shindig, right? Contest. Then we went to Yosemite. And I said, oh, God. I had to take these guys to Yosemite. I'm not even sure if the assistant coaches went with me. And we went to Yosemite. And sure as hell, when we get off the bus, Toledo's bus has to stop there. And I said, oh, God, this is not good. And they picked up, my guys started picking up snowballs and throwing it at them. See, my guys hadn't seen snow before. Their guys came from snow. So they couldn't really figure that out. So we did the best. We won that part of it. Then they went to a racetrack. You remember that? They went to a racetrack where they raced each other and raced Toledo and those midget cars. Sure as hell, there were two guys out there trying to stop, and my guys ran right over them. Ran right over them. Yep, they wanted to win that race so bad, they ran right over them. Then there's one thing we did, and I didn't tell these guys to rehearse this, but we were at the kickoff luncheon. We were at the kickoff luncheon. And I looked at Toledo guys, I looked at my guys, and I said, you know what, guys? What do you have to say about this today? And they all stood up, and they looked at the Toledo team, right? And what'd you guys say? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. You know you want to be a rebel. You know you want to be a rebel. And they kept pointing at them, and then finally I said, that's enough, guys. Sit down. I was afraid we were going to have our little pregame right here. But they believed in rebel football. They loved football. They loved to go out in the field because we worked hard. Our practices were more intimidating than what? The games. They were vicious. I mean, I trained these guys to be gladiators. I wanted them to know that you had to compete and work hard to be able to make it. And we did that. And when I look around here, you know how proud I am, and you're telling me to wrap it up. I don't give a damn what you're saying, Dick Calvert. Now, since you pointed at me, I'm going to give a little story about you. First of all, the videos and stuff that are out here right now, those are excellent, aren't they? And his voice. Dick, thank you very much for all the inductees. Congratulations to all the inductees. They're trying to run me out. Congratulations to the Hall of Fame committee. Congratulations to everyone that came. We thank you because we're part of Las Vegas. We'll always be here. We waited a long time for it, and it's even sweeter now than it's ever been before. And we want to thank all of you for finally getting us here, guys. And I'll tell you, I love all of you. They know I do. That's something we have. And we've lost 7 of us, as you know, along the way. But they all know someday we'll see them somewhere, and maybe we'll play it again, huh? All right, thank you very much, everybody. 1984 conference champions. I'm staying right here.
How about that, ladies and gentlemen? What an outstanding group. Let's join the board of directors in welcoming this 1984 football team into the UNLV Athletic Hall of Fame. Thank you, Harvey. Just a couple of announcements. You guys stay right here. We're going to take some photos and what have you. Steve Spatafor is ready. We'd like to remind all of our inductees tonight, and Kenny as well. Kenny, our Silver Award honoree, thanks for all your support. Appreciate it, man. All the best. Mike Miller is gifting our audience a lithograph of the original Hey Reb, a token of his appreciation, preserved in memory this evening's celebration as UNLV cheerleaders will distribute those lithographs, these renditions to each table. And then we want you to all, in just a second here, I want you all to sing the fight song. We would like everybody to remain, all the inductees, for a photo afterwards. So let's join with the football team and sing the fight song. And don't forget, we're going to honor all these folks again tomorrow at halftime of our ball game. So how about the fight song?